Why I love men over 60. I've often been asked, why do you love men over 60? People say it with curiosity, with disbelief, sometimes even with judgment. But the truth is, my answer isn't about age. It's about depth. It's about peace. And it's about the kind of love that only time, maturity, and experience can create. Because when you've lived long enough, loved deeply enough, and lost enough people in life, you stop chasing excitement and you start seeking meaning. And that's what I found in men over 60. 1. They've already proven themselves. Men over 60 aren't trying to impress anyone anymore. They've already played the game of competition in their career, in society, in relationships. They've fought their battles, built their identity, and learned that the loudest man in the room is often the weakest. When you sit with a man over 60, you can feel the quiet confidence in him. He doesn't talk too much. He doesn't try to dominate the room. He just is. Present. Calm. Grounded. There's something so magnetic about that. Because when you're younger, you often meet men who are still searching for themselves. They want to prove they're smart, rich, handsome, successful, everything at once. But with a man over 60, you meet someone who already knows who he is. He's comfortable in silence. He's not afraid to say, I don't know. And he's not trying to impress, he's just being real. And for me, that's where attraction truly begins. 2. They listen, really listen. There's a difference between hearing and listening. And if you've ever loved someone younger or less mature, you know that difference too well. You talk, they nod, but you can feel they're already thinking about what to say next. But when a man over 60 listens, he listens with his heart. He pauses before responding. He looks into your eyes, not your phone. He doesn't interrupt, he understands. He's been through decades of life. He knows loss, failure, disappointment, and love in its many forms. So when you tell him something that hurts, he doesn't dismiss it. He connects with it. And sometimes he doesn't even offer advice. He just sits with you in the silence. Because he knows that sometimes love isn't about fixing. It's about feeling with you. That emotional maturity, you can't fake that. It only comes with time, with experience, and with the kind of wisdom life forces upon you after 60 years of living. 3. They know what love truly means. Let's be honest, love in today's world often feels like a game. Texting, ghosting, blocking, pretending not to care. It's all surface. But when you love a man over 60, you see what love was meant to be. A choice, a peace, a partnership. They're not looking for drama. They're not chasing validation. They're looking for connection. A man over 60 knows that love isn't found in constant excitement. It's found in consistency. It's in the small gestures, the quiet good morning texts, the way he remembers what you said 3 weeks ago, the way he holds your hand when words aren't enough. He doesn't play with your emotions. He values your peace, because he's seen what temporary love looks like, and he's not interested in that anymore. He wants something real. 4. They age gracefully and teach you to do the same. There's something incredibly attractive about a man who embraces his age. The gray hair, the wrinkles, the soft lines around his eyes, they tell stories. They're proof of a life lived. While the world is obsessed with youth, filters, and perfection, men over 60 remind you that growing older is beautiful. They show you that maturity isn't the end of charm. It's the beginning of authenticity. When I see a man over 60 walk confidently, smile calmly, and speak kindly, I realize how powerful grace can be. He doesn't need to pretend to be young. He's proud of his journey. And that makes you want to age gracefully too. To stop fearing birthdays. To stop comparing yourself. Because when you're around someone who embraces life as it comes, you start doing the same. 5. They have patience, real gentle patience. Love with a man over 60 doesn't rush. It doesn't pressure you. It allows you to breathe. They know how to wait. Not just for you, but with you. If you're upset, they don't walk away. If you need space, they give it. If you're struggling, they stay calm. That patience comes from living through storms, from understanding that emotions pass, people heal, and love grows slowly. They've learned that shouting doesn't solve, and that silence can heal more than words sometimes can. And being with someone like that makes you feel safe. You stop walking on eggshells. You stop fearing that one mistake will end everything. Because they know what commitment truly means, and they show it in every moment. 6. They appreciate the little things. You know what I love most? A man over 60 finds joy in the simplest things. A cup of tea on the balcony, a quiet evening with music, a walk after dinner, a story shared under soft light. They're not chasing clubs, fame, or likes. They're living, truly living. And being around that kind of presence reminds you what happiness really is. You start to enjoy the small moments again. You start to slow down. You start to feel life instead of rushing through it. Because with a man over 60, life feels like poetry, not a race. 7. They respect you not for what you look like, but for who you are. When you're younger, it's easy to feel that people love you for your appearance, your energy, your youth. But with a mature man, it's different. He's not impressed by outer beauty. He's impressed by character. He looks at how you speak to others, how you handle pain, how you stay kind when life isn't fair. He admires your mind, your calm, your empathy, because that's what he's learned to value after living through decades of relationships. Some that failed, some that broke him, and some that healed him. So when he says, "You're beautiful," you know he means something deeper. He means your soul. 8. They've learned what matters most. By the time a man reaches 60, he's lost things, people, dreams, opportunities. He knows how fragile life really is. He knows what's temporary and what's eternal. And because of that, he lives differently. He values peace over popularity. He values health over wealth. He values honesty over perfection. And when you love someone like that, he teaches you to do the same. You stop chasing what doesn't matter. You start valuing moments. He reminds you that love isn't about having everything. It's about being with someone who makes everything feel enough. 9. They're gentle but strong. Strength doesn't always mean loudness or dominance. True strength is gentleness under control. And men over 60 have mastered that balance. They can hold you close, protect you, and still be soft enough to cry with you. They're not afraid of vulnerability. They don't see tears as weakness. They've seen enough of life to know that emotion is not a flaw. It's a sign of being human. And that gentleness, that quiet strength, it changes how you see love. It makes you realize that love doesn't have to hurt, doesn't have to be chaotic. It can be peaceful, calm, and deeply powerful. 10. They love differently. Men over 60 love with depth, not drama. They don't love to impress, they love to connect. They don't want your time just to fill their loneliness. They want your soul, your laughter, your peace. They're not afraid of commitment. They're not scared of expressing feelings. They're not afraid to say, "I need you," because their ego has softened with time. Their love is steady, mature, real. It doesn't come with confusion, comes with clarity. You always know where you stand. And in today's world, that kind of love is priceless. 11. They remind you that time is precious. When you love someone over 60, you start to see time differently. You realize how fast it moves, how short life is. You stop wasting it on arguments, misunderstandings, or ego. You start saying, "I love you" more often. You start being more present. You start cherishing every laugh, every morning coffee, every hand you hold. Because love with a man over 60 teaches you to value now. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. 12. They make you feel safe. In a world that feels so unsafe, they make you feel seen, heard, and understood. Their presence alone calms you down. They don't make you anxious, they make you grounded. And that kind of emotional safety is rare. It's the kind of love that lets you breathe freely. It's the kind of love that doesn't make you question your worth. It reminds you of it. Because when a man over 60 loves you, he doesn't just see who you are. He sees who you can become. And he supports that. He protects that. He helps you grow without ever dimming your light. 13. They love without games. They don't disappear and reappear. They don't make you guess how they feel. They're straightforward, honest, clear. They tell you they love you and they mean it. They show up every day. They don't make love complicated, they make it simple. And in that simplicity you find peace. Because love was never meant to be confusing. It was meant to be kind, gentle, consistent. And that's exactly how they love. Final thoughts. Why I love men over 60. I love men over 60 because they remind me what real love feels like. Mature, patient, loyal, peaceful, deep. They remind me that aging isn't losing beauty. It's gaining wisdom. They remind me that love doesn't fade with time. It evolves. And they remind me that sometimes, The most powerful love stories aren't between the youngest hearts, but between the most experienced ones. Because when you love someone who's lived through 6 decades of laughter, pain, and change, you're not just loving a man. You're loving a story, a history, a legacy of everything that made him who he is today. And to me, that's the most beautiful kind of love there is. Hit that subscribe button and join us on a journey through the timeless wisdom of the older generation. Don't miss a single life-changing lesson.